Hey, what is up? We all know Chick-fil-A has the best service, but what can you really expect a cashier to put up with? This entitled parent takes this to a whole new level, by the Green Arrow 2001. I worked today from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. We close at 11. So I work at a CFA, Chick-fil-A, so if you work more than 5 hours, you have a required 30-minute break. I'm also on my spring break and I was scheduled every day except for Wednesday. There's a reason I'm telling you this. Me, myself and IF friend MNG, Manager P01, Police Officer 1 P02, Police Officer 2M, Evil Crotch Goblin Spawner EK1, Evil Crotch Goblin 1 EK2, Evil Crotch Goblin 2. So I told one of the managers on deck today I wasn't that hungry and so whoever wanted to go on break or was hungry could go. The way breaks go is whoever came in earlier goes on break first. Like I said, I wasn't that hungry and so my co-workers thanked me and they had their breaks. We had a rush when my manager came up to me after I finished taking this sweet elderly woman's order and told me to go on break since I was the only person working more than 5 hours who had to take a break. I signed out of my register and went to the back to get my phone, keys and wallet, Yeti cup this has importance, and my backpack with my Mac and homework that my wonderful teachers gave me over the only break I've had since winter break. I came back up to clock out and went around the counter to get in line to order. My ticket said 6:04 p.m., so I'd get back at 6:34 p.m. When I went around the counter, I saw the two police officers who come to CFA a lot, usually late at night, and I greeted them. I'm usually a frontline worker so they know me well. I stopped and let them pass me and moved behind them. P02 stayed back at first to keep the doors open for dun. M and Deck 1 and 2. They didn't even thank or look at P02 for holding the door. I shuffled in behind P02 after letting him pass me. It was kinda rude because I did shove in front of M and her little shits, but hey. I've only got 30 minutes to eat and we were getting a rush so it would take a bit to get my food. I hear M mutter something behind me but don't pay her any attention. The line shuffles forward and P01 and P02 are arguing slightly over who's paying when I looked up from my phone. The manager who told me to go on break was calling them to her register as she was swiping her card to put in the police discount, 50%. I quickly moved around the bars and put my card while they're ordering and they both kindly tried to stop me but I figured why not? Me. It's on me today guys. Both P01 and P02 are like, nah bud. Don't worry about it. Behind us, M, can you guys hurry it up, I've got hungry kids here. I tell my manager to just tender it and she does. Both P01 and 2 thank me and I say it's my pleasure, because I work at CFA, it's honestly gotten to be a reflex. I move up to the register and it's my employee discount so it's up to $7, and I just pay the extra. I order my usual, spicy sandwich. Add pepper jack and bacon. Bacon has importance and both of these cost a bit extra, and a large fry. I just pay the extra $1 something left over and I get some sauces and go sit in the back room so I can start my work. Unfortunately, the back room has a glass window where the playpen is, so kids can watch you as you try to enjoy those 30 minutes of peace. Which is hard when all you hear is them screaming. I sit down and face the window of playpen so I can lean against the wall and relax while I wait for the food. I put my backpack in the seat to my right, I lean against the wall to my left. The P01 and P02 got their food, ate and they came into the back room saying thanks again, and we talked for a bit. When I say they were cool guys, I mean it. They literally came and talked with me for a bit and cracked jokes. After a couple minutes had passed. P01, we should probably get out of your hair and enjoy your break before people start to think we're interrogating you. They were both standing while I was sitting so it looked a bit like that. P02, thanks again buddy. Me, don't worry about it. Think of it as my thanks for keeping us safe. I said as I waved bye to them. They left and my food came. There were no spicy fillets down so I had to wait a bit. I was doing my homework and eating when my friend FaceTimed me. Behind me was the wall where there's a large window so I caught glare on my phone. I adjusted my phone so it was like I was recording the kids in the playpen. I didn't know. M comes in a minute later all pissed. Still FaceTiming my friend and making plans for Wednesday with her and some other people. Me. Hi mom. EM, you're a rude kid, you know that. You'll pay for those officers but you won't pay for me and my kids. They're starving. She's got her kids with her, both whining. Me, sorry? I'm so confused. EM, you should pay for me and my kids' food. Those cops probably just get fat eating donuts all the time, you don't need to pay for them. Me, Mom, I paid for them because I know them. They come here a lot and they're both nice guys. Unfortunately Mom, if your kids are so hungry you probably should have just ordered food, I'm sure you would have gotten it by now. F, the green arrowed 2001, you there? She asked and M heard it. EM, what's that? You pervert. You're recording those kids. No wonder you sat there. Me, still confused and already getting tired of this goblin spawner's bullshit. Hey, let me call you back. F, okay. EM, yeah, you call your little perverted girlfriend back later so you rape her. I stood up and threw my sandwich down and she looks at it, then my work, my Mac and my cup. EM, look, you pay for me and my kids' food and I won't tell everyone what a dirty little pervert you are. You have enough money to buy things like Yeti cups and Macs, so I think you can spend some money on me. And I thought Muslims don't eat bacon. I'm not all that proud of this. First off, call me a pervert, and I'll gladly call a manager to check the cameras. They've got hearing and they'll hear me talking to my friend. Secondly, I'm not Muslim. I'm Hindu. And even if I was, what does that matter to some self-absorbed weasel like you? Thirdly, I paid for those officers because they are nice, unlike you. And my Mac was a Christmas gift from my parents. The Yeti cull was a gift from my friend who I was having fun flaunt to before you rudely interrupted us and I had to let her go. EK1, I want a drink, I'm thirsty. EK2, me too. M literally points them at my Yeti cup and they both goat it. Now I'm at work so it's not like I can just shove those kids away, so I made for my drink and Emma literally shoves into me, making me slam into the table and I toppled onto one of her little entitled shits. Meanwhile the other one doesn't know how to fucking pull the lid on my cup back and slams it into the table repeatedly until my lid pops off. Now here's the worst part. My food, Mac and fucking homework gets soaked with root beer and all this bitch says is, haha. Me, now in pain and pissed. Are you serious? You just say haha. You just ruined my work, my computer and food. On top of that, you shoved me and now my ribs hurt and you made me fall on your kid, who is crying. I literally shit you not, M screams this. You were about to molest my child and I pushed you out of the way. You're a disgusting perverted boy who touches kids. Now at this point, people had seen what was really happening and my managers were called. I'm still on the floor, my ribs hurt a bit, her kid's crying next to me while the other shit is making an even worse mess of my cup, which is currently dented on the sides and the bottom so it doesn't even sit right. Thankfully, my manager figured what was happening. This shit was insane. She's starting calling my manager, who is a freshman in college, same as me, a molester too, screaming and cursing at her. I felt bad for her way more than I felt for her crying little waste of space. My managers came to help and they threatened to call the police. And she went out, literally kicking me as she went to grab her still crying kid and yanked them both out of the restaurant. Meanwhile EK1 still had my Yeti cup. I get up and I'm still so fucking pissed because now my Mac is sticky, the keys and the mouse pad, which is the reason I'm telling this on mobile. My homework and food is drenched and I'm a bit dizzy for a couple seconds. My managers helped me get my stuff settled while one manager apologized like the other families who'd been in the dining area. I was literally so pissed. Thankfully, my managers told me to just stay here for a bit and they'd just promo my food. The manager who rang up my food came and had my break with me and we just chilled for a bit until I was calm again. We finished eating and clocked back in and she asked me if I wanted to go to the window since it was slow right now. I said yes and we swapped registers, and like she said, it was slow. A car finally pulls up and they order, and my friend tells me to just repeat it all because there were kids screaming and he couldn't hear it all that well. They pull up to the window and once again, I shit you not, this bitch came through the fucking drive-thru. She saw me and just stopped at the window. Her little shit was in the passenger seat still holding my dented Yeti cup. And I literally watched her roll down the passenger window, and grab my cup from her kid's hands and chuck it out before driving off, screaming that I'm a rude pervert and whatnot. I literally just kept working, and the manager who I had my break with got my cup for me, and I was just quiet with my co-workers and managers until I got home and had to explain everything to my parents. Honestly, this bitch didn't just ruin my cup, my Mac or my day. She ruined my whole spring break. I'm going in tomorrow to talk to my boss because we are filing a complaint and we did call the police. We got her car model and her license plate, so if guys want to know what happens then let me know. TLDR. Bitches at me for not paying for her and her kids' food after I paid for 2 officers' food. And while I was on break her kids ruin my homework, expensive cup, Mac, and she shoves me and called me a pervert. She comes through drive-thru and then throws my cup out of the car while driving off and screaming lies about me. She's going to be caught most likely, so yeah. That's the start of my spring break. That's it for today's stories. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. We are posting new content daily. See you next time. And if you have any suggestions for new subreddits to read stories from, please leave them in the comments below.